Hi, I'm just gonna make this video. It was just on my heart about how Jesus healed the leper, and it just, man, okay, like, I remember when I first read this story about how Jesus healed this diseased man. He shared with me about this man's heart, in a deep way, to where it wasn't just about getting his, disease-ridden body healed, but his heart also. Because Jesus shared with me that this man was so ridden with disease that people from his community didn't want to go anywhere near him, and they were terrified of being around this man. So this man spent a lot of his time alone. I'm sure there were others that he was able to confide in and stuff, but God was basically just sharing with me how the world made him feel like he didn't have value or worth, and he wasn't made to feel like he was loved. And so when Jesus healed him, that really healed this leper's heart. And not only did God, placing his hands upon him, heal his disease-ridden body, but Jesus healed his soul. And, it really made me think about how, like, when people don't feel like they have any hope, when they're not being shown love by people, if they're not getting any love, or love from their families, or, people who are supposed to be continually being a well of love, if they're not getting that from them, then a person can die of a broken heart. And I really have learned this, you guys. Like, the first time, before I even read this story in the Bible about the leper and about how Jesus healed his heart, and before Jesus revealed to me about how this man could have died of a broken heart had he not been healed by God, had he not been shown love. I was a child, and my uncle, maybe I'll make a short video about that sometime, but my uncle died, and I was very close to him, and he had a dog. He named his dog after me and my sister, so this dog's name was Joe Jack. And when my uncle died, we ended up getting Joe Jack, and we were taking care of him. We were giving him all kinds of love and feeding him and playing with him, that kind of thing. But he still died of a broken heart. He refused to eat because he missed my uncle so much that nobody else could fill that void in his heart. And I remember when he died, it really confused me because I had just lost my uncle, so I was already grief-ridden, right? Like, I was having a hard time accepting his death. And at the same time, when his dog died, man, I became numb for a while, because I felt like having this dog around was kind of like having a piece of him around in my child mind. I felt comforted by this dog. But when he died, he refused to eat, and he basically starved himself to death. That's when I started to realize that he wanted love, and it's not that we weren't loving him, but this is when God really did teach me that a living thing can die of a broken heart. And he grieved himself to death. And if a dog can do that, you guys, like, I know that human beings are dying every day of a broken heart because they're not being shown love. And it just depends upon each person and their circumstance and everything like that. But I just wanted to talk about this, how beautiful Jesus is as a healer, how he teaches his people to heal and to love others. And the whole point of this, you guys, is to really talk about how there are so many outcasts in the world, where the world teaches people to not forgive others, and they put labels on people if someone has sinned or has fallen short, which we all have, of the glory of God. We've all fallen short in some way, shape, or form. But this world's full of hypocrites who like to label other people in their own understanding, in their own hypocrisy. And they like to train the world to be haters, right? So it's the Pharisee heart, basically, who doesn't forgive, who doesn't show mercy, who doesn't show compassion upon the hurting, upon those who already know that they've fallen, or those who are asking for forgiveness, or those who have confessed sin, or just those who are outcasts that the world spits on, and mocks and doesn't forgive. Like, do you know that saying, this just came to my mind, but an example of this, like how the world titles people. Do you know that saying of once a cheater, always a cheater? That's not true. There are some people out there who have overcome their flesh and who have repented of cheating and who can strive to walk to not cheat again. But this world teaches people that once a cheater, always a cheater. So it's like they don't want to give hope to anybody, and they don't want to give them that extra chance to know, that they can be forgiven and redeemed and loved, and that they can rise above and become something greater than the sin that the world has placed blame upon them to, and that they don't forgive, like, I see it all the time. I see it all the time in the news where there's someone confessing a sin, and then, like, in the comments section, there's all kinds of people that are just mocking this person who has come clean about something, and they don't show mercy, they don't show compassion, and they always, like, these people make these horrific comments about how this person shouldn't be forgiven because, they're lying, or they're making it up, or, they give their own reasons as to why the world should continue to spit on somebody. Anyways, I just wanted to share this, that it's so important to love people, and the way that you can love people is to show compassion, mercy, and grace, especially upon those who don't feel like they deserve it, and who are sincerely remorseful, or who are just so broken that they need someone to listen to their heart, and they need someone to show them that they can be forgiven and redeemed, and that they can come out from whatever it is that they've done, that they can be better for it by growing in strength, knowledge, and wisdom, and growing in love because someone else showed them love, And, God died of a broken heart, and he knew his purpose, he knew the plan, why he was created to come here, for the sins of man, for those who would, be remorseful and turn away from sin. But God still died of a broken heart because this world rejected him, but he endured, and he knew, he was murdered, but he also laid his life down, and he knew that it was important that nobody could be saved if he hadn't done that, and that was his great love for all of mankind. And it's really hypocritical that this world does not show the same mercy, compassion, and grace upon each other, and especially upon those who are seeking to have a new life, seeking to rise above, and who have confessed, their shortcomings or their sins, and who just want to get another chance to make things right, And it's sad. It was on my heart. I just really love that story of the leper, because Jesus wasn't afraid to put his hands on this disease-ridden man. And God really showed me that the community they were just so scared to come near this man, so he felt worthless, he felt hopeless, he didn't feel like he had a purpose here anymore because he was so rejected by everyone. So I can only imagine what his heart was feeling and how it leaped, and how he had tears of joy when God showed him love in that moment, and he cleansed him and he healed him, and he got to become a beautiful witness and testimony of God's glory and God's love, and how we should all be showing the same type of love, to those who are in need, to show compassion, mercy, forgiveness. So if you read Matthew chapter 8, I believe it's verses 1 through 4, you can see how this leper approached Jesus. He had the courage to approach Jesus, and asked him, if you would, Lord, would you please cleanse me and heal me? Such a humble heart. And Jesus said, yes, I am willing. And he cleansed him And this man became a sign and wonder in his time in that community. And I'm sure there were many people who were convicted who felt bad, for not showing him love. There are a lot of people in this world who are diseased at heart, and it's because of sin, and another reason is also because they haven't been shown love. So it just depends upon the person's heart. But spiritually speaking, the worst disease anyone can have is feeling like a leper, feeling like that they don't have hope, feeling like that they're not valuable, and that they don't have a place here, they aren't worthy of living. So if you know somebody like that, I just want to encourage you to pray for them and to show love to them, however God would lead you, and please use discernment. I know that not all situations are, safe or what have you, it just depends, but I just mean really get into the Spirit and ask God to help teach you how you can be a healer of hearts, and how you too can go and reach your hands into the dark places of a person's soul and just show them love and pour love into them. And watch how they light up and they become life, just because someone showed them compassion, mercy, grace, love, because they felt like they mattered, because someone showed them attention. They got their heart heard and listened to. So when people feel that, it really encourages them to want to live. So I'll see you in my next video. God bless.